back to a new episode of Hawk Off the Press. My name is Madison Hricik. I am the Hawkeye Athletics beat reporter for the Gazette, and we have a brand new guest, one of the first appearances since joining the Iowa Athletics family, new soccer head coach, Dean Ward. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been quite a whirlwind of a couple weeks for you. The job officially being announced on February 12th that you were taking over the program, but how has the transition been since taking the job to join Iowa Athletics?
Yeah, it's been good. Obviously, everyone's been very welcoming and got me organized and set up, and these things happen fast. So a bit of a whirlwind of saying goodbye to your previous team, and that's obviously a hard thing to do. But then the excitement of meeting your new team and making sure you hit the road running there and get to know everybody and make them feel good about the change as well. And so it's been good. It's been hectic, but very happy we're here.
Yeah, it's been a whirlwind, certainly on the Iowa side of things. That the hiring was done in about 2.5 weeks. So it was certainly a quick process, but I'm curious, let's dive a little bit into your coaching at Xavier University, where you're coming from prior to joining and moving down to Iowa City. The last 2 seasons have really stuck out. 16 wins just in 2025. I'm curious, what about your coaching style have you found to be so unique in the college level for women's soccer?
Yeah, I mean, I think I inherited a good program, but I was also able to add my twist to it. And both seasons at Xavier, we won 15 plus games in each season, and obviously you need talented players to do that, but also have a certain style of play that I try and implement in our teams. And it's an attacking brand of soccer, and we want to score goals, and I'm very competitive and want to win. So as I look at this role, it's something that I want to continue to bring here at Iowa.
You mentioned you inherited a program, but then you had a twist to it as well. What is your twist? What is your coaching style?
I think it's
unique.
I think it's a soccer piece of I want to dictate the game by having the ball, and I may play in a certain different shape at times just to give the opposition different problems that maybe they're not used to. But I try to focus on our team and develop our team in a way that allows them to create lots of opportunities based on whatever the opposition gives us. And I think that teaching element and the coaching element of how I see the game just allows our teams to express themselves and be creative. And I think hopefully that's something we can continue.
Yeah, and you've had a number of years coaching, whether at a head coaching level, assistant coaching level, but what made you want to become a soccer coach? And did you have a preference to coach towards women's soccer, or was that just kind of how your journey ended up growing?
Yeah, so growing up, obviously I'm originally from England. So growing up, my dad was a coach and a qualified coach back home in England, and so I saw it firsthand and started to get involved in that side of it and just be around different kind of conversations that happen in a coaching family. And then when I came out to the States, I was coaching boys and males predominantly, and then I kind of fell into coaching the female athlete within the club environment. And I credit a lot to a family who really pushed for me to be the coach of their female team. And it kind of fit from there of just my personality, and I value the relationship piece, which I think is more prevalent in the female side of the game. And, it just suited me in my kind of the way I approach it. So yeah, kind of fell into it, but it's been good being able to develop my career over the time.
With how much exposure you've had to the sport, is there pieces of the game maybe from when you were growing up playing in England that you kind of implement into American soccer now? Is it pretty synonymous at this point for you, or even just from a male to a female side point as well?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the culture in England of the game is maybe different to over here, but the game is evolving constantly. So I think making sure you stay up with the trends and the ways to teach different things in different ways, but the game is the game, and it doesn't matter what level you play at, or what gender either. Like, the game is the same. Pieces may move differently and faster at different times based on the level of play, but the principles of the game remain the same.
Mm-hmm. And well, one thing that you get to do now that you've gone to your first couple practices and things like that is you get to start building your staff as well. And it was announced yesterday that you're bringing over a very familiar face to you specifically, just because, well, he was your assistant at Xavier. Noah Smith is joining your coaching staff here at Iowa. What made you so interested to continue over that relationship so that he was by your side again?
Yeah. Noah is from Iowa, so like it made a lot of sense in that regard. So he knows the landscape and he's passionate about the place, but he's also amazing at what he does. From the level of detail that he coaches, the goalkeeper specific piece is top level. So it aligns in the way that I want to teach the game. He's also an amazing recruiter and knows everybody in the country, and is able to kind of highlight and evaluate talent really, really well in the way that I see the game as well. So there's an alignment there between us, which helps. And then he's just a super great guy, and builds relationships, and we have a good working relationship as well. So it was a no-brainer for me when, I got hired that he would be someone I'd want to bring with me. And similar to myself, he's hit the ground running, and here coaching sessions and starting recruiting, and it's been good to have him here. So
yeah, well, considering how quickly you all have had to hit the ground running, I'm curious, what have been your first impressions of this Iowa soccer team that you're trying to build, but also the players that were here last year and are getting an opportunity to meet you, and you starting to build relationships with them?
Yeah. No, the program's in a really good place, right? And credit to Dave and his staff, for their success here. And that's what excited me as well. There's been an ability to win here, and it's proven. But I think I can also come in and add my twist and elevate the program further. So the players have been awesome, and I think there's a lot of talent there. Maybe some challenges in terms of the style of play, maybe different. And I think that's good in terms of their growth and development, and challenging them for new things. Ultimately, it's about the relationship piece and them getting to know me and understand me and what I'm going to ask of them. So, I met with every player individually last week, and just a chance to talk and understand who they are and what they want and what they want to make sure we keep the same and maintain. So no, they've been great, and they've embraced me and my ideas so far.
Well, it's February now. You guys won't play your first game until August officially. But I'm curious, with so much time in between, it's a little roughly about 6 months, I guess. Recording this on the 24th of February, so right around that 6 month mark. What kind of progress do you want to see with this team? You mentioned a new style of play potentially, but just getting to know this group a little bit. How do you want them to develop over these 6 months?
Yeah, like our spring season is really important, and it's not a 3-month, 4-month season. It's a lifestyle. It's about constantly developing and investing in yourself. So this spring season is really important for us. And obviously, the first three weeks or so when they didn't have a coach is a challenge. But they were able to stick together as a group and invest in each other and continue to practice and be in a really good place. So our job now is to build off that and continue that through the rest of the spring semester, and then through into the summer. We do have games in the spring season, so that'll be a good opportunity for us to kind of showcase what we've been working on and get out on the field and compete, which is the most enjoyable piece.
Well, and also I'm curious, do you kind of rely a little bit on film to help coach a new playing style? Do you do a lot more drills? What's the balance between physically showing this team how you would like this game to be played versus maybe showing it on film from like a visual standpoint rather than the physical standpoint?
Yeah. And again, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I think, the
Mhm.
basis of the team is in a really good spot, and there's certainly things I want to make sure we keep and maintain. But it's just adding little tweaks here and there, or little ideas that can elevate us. So yes, all of it. It's in the weight room, it's in the video room, it's on the practice field. But I'm very much a hands-on coach, and I want to coach within sessions, and give them ideas and give them the freedom to go express themselves. So we're in that phase right now where we only have 8 hours with the team, and 4 hours of those with the soccer ball. So a little limited on how much we can do, but we started dripping some ideas into there. So once we hit our 20-hour time frame after spring break, we'll have a little more time where video can be a bit more prominent, and I think that can really accelerate the learning process as well.
Mhm. In these early stages where you're getting to know a team and you're getting to know your new coworkers in the athletic department, what's the most exciting part? Is it actually getting the one-on-one interaction with the players? Is it moving to a new town? Where have you found the most excitement in the whirlwind of the last month or so?
Yeah. Yeah, I think if you ask any coach, the time with your student athletes is the most precious and important time period. So like the practices and the time I've been able to be around the student athletes, like that's what I want to do. And that's been probably the most exciting piece, is getting to know everyone as individuals, but also the different personalities and how you can coach those individuals, and trying to put the pieces together as a cohesive team. So yeah, that's definitely the most exciting part, is getting on the field and getting the ball out, and the soccer piece.
You've mentioned it a couple times now. You've talked about relationships and how there was a family that kind of got you into the women's side of coaching soccer because of the relationships and everything. How have you learned as a coach how to build relationships with these athletes, and learn kind of where you can meet them in the middle of their journeys as well?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's all built on trust, right? So I think them understanding who I am and my kind of values and how I'm going to approach things, I think is really important. And I think there's always some alignment and commonality between any athlete. And, I find that they want to be valued and cared for and feel a sense of belonging. And you looking after them as a human being, but not just a soccer player. So I think there's that individual element, and then I think people want to be part of a team and a program and something bigger than them as an individual. And those relationships, with staff and player to player, I think are really, really important to people. And then people want to win, and they want to compete at the highest level and be part of something that is successful. And those habits and the day-to-day experiences are what drives that. So, those are key elements for us to focus on, and just getting the nuance of how each individual kind of ticks. But it's it's getting to know each other and understanding each other and building that trust, and building that relationship. Like anything, it takes a little time. But I've been really pleased so far with the team's response, and I think they're excited.
Mhm. Well, and one thing that we've learned in college athletics is that the bubble of who knows who is rather small, particularly in college athletics, and when you have an assistant coach that grew up in the Hawkeye State, went to Iowa State. But I'm curious, um, when you talk about building a staff as well, you knew you wanted to bring in Coach Smith as an assistant. What goes into developing those relationships to know that you have that comfortability of saying, "Hey Noah, like we've worked together. I love our dynamic. I want you to come back to a state you're familiar with and help me, continue our success at a Big Ten program."
Yeah. Yeah, I think Noah's was easy because I think he was pretty invested in me as well, and enjoyed his experience at Xavier with me. So I think there's alignment of how we see the game and how we do things. So that made sense. As we look at other staff members, there's a network of people, and I think the opportunity here at Iowa, where I want certain expertise in the staff, I also want different perspectives and opinions to be able to see situations from various different angles to ultimately come to a final decision on various aspects. So I want some diversity in the group of different ways to see the game and different ways to deal with things. And we can be very specific in our roles. Obviously, Noah will have a focus on the goalkeeping piece and some of the recruiting piece, but the rest of our staff will, be able to coach on the field and recruit and do video and prepare for games. So, I'm pretty excited about the rounding the staff out as we progress.
You mentioned you're a very hands-on coach, so I'm curious, is there a specific position that you're particularly hands-on with? Are you more of an oversight hands-on coach? Is there no, you've played the sport, you've been around the sport long enough. I'm sure there's one side of the ball you maybe lean towards, but I'm curious, is there one that you have a little bit of a favorite side towards, just from your own experience?
Yeah, I'm lucky that I've been able to do it all at different places. At the University of Tennessee, I did a lot of the forwards and attacking personalities. At the University of Dayton, I was working with the defensive group a little bit more. I do have my goalkeeping licenses and coaching qualifications, but by no stretch am I a goalkeeper coach. I played as a defender, but I was an attack-minded defender as well, so I like to get forward. So no, honestly, I have a clear vision of what I see the game should look like and how I want it to be played. But that's the defensive side and the attacking side, and a bit of hands on everything. So by no means do I want to do everything all the time. I think it's important they hear from different voices, and we break up the functional piece of practice as well. But no, I feel comfortable and confident coaching all aspects of the game. I do gravitate to having the ball, right, and the attacking side of in possession piece of it. My teams tend to score a lot of goals. We were the second highest goal scorers in the nation last year at Xavier. So hopefully we can bring that to Iowa and score a bunch of goals.
Mm-hmm. One thing about a new coach joining a program is sometimes they understand a lot of the history of the program they're joining, and sometimes they're learning it as they're taking on this role. I'm curious, where do you fit in among that spectrum? Iowa soccer has had success under Coach Dave, who's now leading Michigan. But I'm curious, how much of the University of Iowa's soccer history did you really have prior to kind of assuming the role?
Yeah, it's obviously the Big Ten. So I think everyone has an eye on the highest levels of the game. So yeah, I've got a lot of respect for Coach Dave Diani and what he's done here and how he's built it, and the facility upgrades and everything that's been going on in the program. From afar, I always keep an eye on this level of the game. So I'm fully aware of the program. Obviously, watch a lot of soccer as well. So I've been able to watch a bunch of games, but the nuance of every program and once you get in there and lift the hood off the car, it's finding all the little pieces underneath. And that's the exciting part now, is while I'm here, is figuring out how things work and the nuance of each place.
Mm-hmm. Well, this might be stretching a little into the future here, but over the next 6 months, you'll get to develop this team, work with them, get to know them. And one of the things that soccer fans are going to be interested in is your first schedule as head coach. I don't know how much you're able to share with us at this point, but I'm curious. I'm looking just specifically at the conference side of things, because we know that you'll play conference foes. What about experiencing and coaching a Big Ten team through a Big Ten schedule is exciting for you?
Yeah, I mean, the schedule's in place already. They tend to be done fairly early, so that's kind of in place already. But I know that every game is a big game, and on any given day, a Big Ten opponent can beat any other Big Ten opponent. So I think that's exciting, and that's part of the appeal as well. Is coaching at the highest level and competing against other high level teams and programs on a consistent basis. So I want that, and I want to be able to compete at that level. So our non-conference segment is just as important as our conference segment to put us in a position for the national tournament as well. So it's a level of consistency that's important across the whole season. But no, the travel aspect is obviously with the conference being across the country, that can play a major part in those challenges, and wins on the road and the travel aspect is challenging. So making sure that we're prepared for that and ready for that will be an important aspect. But people don't necessarily want to come here and play us either as well. So we've got to make our home field a fortress as well. So no, I'm excited just to get those games going. But we've got a number of months ahead of us and plenty of work to do in the meantime.
Well, I have to ask, are you able to give a little bit of a tease as to what might maybe the non-conference slate might look like? I obviously understand it's not out yet, so there's some that you might not be able to give away, but any sort of insight tease that you might be able to share about this first non-conference slate?
Yeah, I mean, we take a trip out to North Carolina for some teams out there. We play 2 games out there. And then we bring some high-level teams here as well to Iowa. So you'll have to wait and see.
There you go. That's a little bit of a tease. That's all good. You mentioned Iowa's appearances in the NCAA tournament, preparing for it. You've brought your teams to the NCAA tournament as well. What have you found has been the key element to getting your programs to the national stage on a consistent basis? And why do you want to carry that over with Iowa as well?
Yeah, I think it's consistency, right? Of making sure we bring our best every day and win each day based on its merit. And every opponent brings different challenges, but making sure we approach it in a professional manner and are able to perform. I think challenging ourselves and playing against strong opposition that are NCAA level tournament teams, and that becoming normal. And I think, we're a top 25 program nationally, and we need to play that kind of level of team, and for it to become just a normal thing. And when it becomes a normal thing, you don't fear it, you don't worry about it. It's not a stressful environment anymore, and you can just go play. So I think having a challenging schedule where we're going to play teams that are going to be in that contention for an NCAA tournament bid. We want to play those teams because ultimately that's where we want to live, and we don't just want to play those games. We want to be able to win those games as well and progress to the last stages of the tournament.
I want to kind of circle things back a little bit more towards your coaching journey here. With all the experience that you've had, what have you maybe learned about yourself the most? Maybe we'll start with just as a head coach, and then maybe just overall with your assistant coaching experience as well.
What have I learned about myself? No, I think I know myself pretty well, and I know my strengths, and I know that areas where I can continue to improve. But also I have the confidence to know that I'm pretty good at what I do as well. So yeah, I don't think it's learning too much at this stage, but I'm pretty confident and secure in myself, knowing that I can coach good teams and develop relationships and prepare teams to play at the highest level.
Well, so now I'll ask maybe a little bit of a broader question, bring in some of the assistant coaching experience you've had, but how have maybe some of your former head coaches you've worked with, or maybe some mentors along the way, helped kind of guide you to reach the point that you're at now?
Yeah, no, I've been lucky to have, people on staffs that have had a lot of head coach experience. So even at the University of Tennessee, both assistants were head coaches in their own right as well. And the same at the University of Dayton. So no, not only have I had mentors as head coaches, I've also had assistant coaches that have been head coaches that have also passed on little things as well. So obviously Brian Pensky, he was at the University of Tennessee and now at Florida State. He's won national championships at Florida State recently, and he's a big mentor of mine and a good friend of mine that, I take certain things from him that I've implemented, but also the same with various different other people along the way. And I think that's part of growth, of taking things that you like and maybe not taking things that you don't like from certain individuals and molding the way you would do things. So I've been lucky to be surrounded by a lot of high quality people, but also high quality coaches. So, Eric Goals at Dayton is a very good friend of mine. And as I say, Brian Pensky and Joe Kurt at Tennessee and John Morgan at Tennessee and Joe Malley at Loyola, Maryland. And, I'm missing people, and I apologize if I'm missing people out, but plenty of people that have influenced me and my career. Mag Soren at University of Dayton. So I think I've been lucky to be around a lot of good people and good coaches.
Mm-hmm. It always feels like there's somebody that you'll think of to mention, and it's just like, oh my gosh, the list gets too long. I hope I got everybody. So
I'm sure someone
understand that.
Yeah.
So this seems like a very basic question, but I like to ask coaches this whenever I get the chance. You've talked about consistency and relationship building, but at your core, what is your goal when you took this job? What was the first and foremost goal that you had in mind when you decided you wanted to lead the Hawkeyes?
To win. I'm pretty intentional about that because I know myself, and I'm competitive. And I'm wired in that way that I know I want to compete the top end of the conference and the top end of the sport in general. So the ability to compete to win is really important to me. And I think the infrastructure here and the resources we have available, and obviously the past is a good indicator of potential future success. We can win here. So, that was the biggest point for me as I look at anything, is can I be myself and compete to win things? And that's what drives me every day.
Mm-hmm. I think the last question I have for you, Coach, what is your message to Hawkeye fans who are going to have an interest in this program this year, or that you want to get them interested in this program throughout, as the spring closes, we turn to summer and eventually your first full season as the head coach?
Yeah, we want to connect with the community and have people come out to our games and support the team. We have amazing student athletes in our team that are role models to younger people and younger girls in particular. So we want to showcase that. So come and watch us, and hopefully we can entertain and get to know our community on a higher level as well. And but yeah, we're going to continue to put this program in a national stage and push it as far as we can. And the sky's the limit.
Well, Coach, thank you so much for your time. We really appreciate you coming on, and welcome to Iowa City as well.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, thank you guys. If you guys like this content, there's a new Hawk Off the Press podcast episode every single week, as well as a free newsletter that you can sign up for at Gazette.com. Exact same name, Hawk Off the Press, that comes into your inbox every Friday morning. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we will see you next time.